Welcome back to Easily Explained, where today we will be talking about the different ways to represent data. So let's get started. In this situation, a moving company charges a flat fee of $40 and they charge $20 per hour that they work. For this situation, I will walk you through how to 1. Write an equation, 2. Draw a table, 3. Create a graph, 4. Solve a real-world problem regarding this situation. Then you'll be ready to do all of those things on your own with a different situation. In a slope-intercept form equation, y equals mx plus b. But what do all of these variables mean? Y is the total cost. M is the slope, or the rate of change, the rate in which the charges are increasing or decreasing. X is the number of hours that the company works for, and B is the y-coordinate of the y-intercept, also known as the initial value, flat fee. They all mean the same thing. So let's write an equation for this situation. First, let's find our slope. So as you can see here, the rate is increasing by $20 per hour, which means that 20 is our slope. Now we need to find B, the y-coordinate of the y-intercept. Since this is the y value when x is 0, which means the initial cost or the flat fee, our B equals 40. So now we have an equation, y equals 20x plus 40. Now we're ready to draw a table. Pause the video now and copy down the table. Now let's fill in all of the y values. To do this, we will plug in all of our x values and find out the y values. So let's start with 0. Y equals to 20, let's plug in 0, plus 40, which means y equals 20 times 0 is 0, plus 40, which means that y equals 40. Let's add in our 40 right there. Now let's solve for 1 hour. Y is equal to 20 times 1 plus 40, which means y, 20 times 1 is 20, plus 40, so y is then equal to 60. Now pause the video and solve for x values 2 through 5. Alright, now that you're back, let's go over the answers. These should be your values in the table. Now we're ready to graph. There are 2 ways we can approach this graph. 1, we can plot all of the data points that we just found in our table, or 2, we can use the equation with the slope of the line and the y-intercept. I will teach you how to graph using the equation. Recall that our equation was y equals 20x plus 40. The first thing that we're going to do with this is we're going to look for our y-intercept. When x is 0, y equals 40. So let's plot that point first. 0, 40. Now, from this point forward, we want to use the slope, 20x. So our slope is also known as rise over. What this means is that it is the change, this is the delta symbol, which basically means change or difference, change in y over change in x. Basically, how many units is the point going up or down, and how many units is the point going left or right. When the change in y is negative, that means that the point is going down. It's traveling downward. When it's going up, that means that we will have a positive slope, positive rise value. And for x, when the point is traveling to the right, that means that the value will be positive. And when it's traveling to the left, that means that the run value is negative. We know from our equation that our slope, rise over run, is 20. Basically means that our slope is 20 over 1. Now these are both positive values. Rise is positive, run is positive, which means that we know that our change in y is going to be 20 up since it's positive, and our change in x is going to be 1 to the right since 1 is also positive. All right, now we can graph. Now we know that we need to go 20 up from this point, plus 20, and we need to go 1 to the right. 1. And we know that is our next point. So let's continue this pattern. 20 up, 1 to the right, 20 up, 1 to the right, 20 up, 1 to the right, and 20 up, 1 to the right. Now we have all of our points and we can graph it and make it a line. I connected all of my plotted points into this line. Since our line has a positive slope, if you look at it from left to right, the line is increasing. If you compare back to our table, you'll notice that we plotted the same values that we got when we used the equation. 0, 40, 1, 60, 2, 80, and so on and so forth. And now, as you can tell, you might have noticed that our table values always increased by 20, which is why it is easy to graph since that is our slope. And now for our problem. If the movers worked for 8 hours, what would be the total charge? Again, there are multiple ways that we can approach this problem. We can use our equation, extend our table to go up to x equals 8, and extend our graph to x equals 8. Let's stick with using our equation. Y equals 20x plus 40. Now, in the same way we plugged in values for the table, we're just going to plug in our x value here. So y is equal to 160 plus 40, which therefore means that y equals 200. That means that if the moving company worked for 8 hours, they would charge a grand total of $200. Alrighty, now it's your turn. In this new situation, the company charges a flat fee of $20 and they charge $10 per hour. First, pause the video and write the equation for this situation. Alright, now let's look at it together. First things first, we need to find our slope. Now our new slope is going to be 10 because the charge is now increasing by $10 per hour. Now what's our B? What's our initial value? Well, like right here we see our flat fee is $20. So our equation is y equals 10x plus 20. Pause the video now and fill out the table. Now that you're back, let's go over the correct answer. These are the correct answers. And if you'll notice, after this 20 value, which is our initial value, each one increases by 10 again. And all the way down, as that is the slope. Alright, it's graphing time. Pause the video now and complete the graph. Alright, now let's make the graph together. Starting with our y-intercept, 20, and then up 10, right 1, all the way. And now we will connect these points with a line. Your graph should look something like this. Lastly, our problem. If the movers work for 8 hours, what would the total cost be? Plug in x is equal to 8 in the equation and solve for the total cost. Okay, let's do it together. Y is equal to 10 times 8 plus 20 For working 8 hours, the moving company made a total of $100. Congratulations! You're now an expert at different ways to represent data. We hope this video really helped, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!